What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hardworking Happy Hour. I'm Sean.
And I'm Catherine. And as always, we'll be breaking down all things trades, entrepreneurship, and turning your creativity into a passion career.
Hey, a little more energy. Yeah, come on. This is a passion career. Come on. Turning your creativity into a passion career. Hardworking Happy Hour. That's what we do here. And we got some exciting stuff. How'd you like having a guest on last week?
Oh, I loved it. It was so nice to bring somebody into our little
world here. Yeah.
We've made it look so cute in this one specific area, so we might as well have some people see it.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't look at the rest of the shop, but we did actually do
Just
some
this
cleaning
corner.
this week.
Yeah.
It doesn't look too bad here, but we still got a lot of work to go on the rest of this
Definitely.
area. Mm-hmm. But so far so good.
Yeah.
This area looks great, but
That's all that matters. The cameras are just pointing this way.
exactly. So, hopefully everyone liked and give us some feedback on having guests on because I think it's cool to get some outside perspective. You obviously are pretty used to our perspective. Hopefully we're still dropping those little nuggets.
I would hope so.
I would hope
We talk
so.
a lot. We might as well drop a couple nuggets.
Just a couple nuggets here and there. You got to search for them, but they're there. So yeah, we want to have some more guests on in the future. So also reach out, like who would you want to hear? Who would you want to have on? We're a little bit limited because we want to have people in the studio because we feel like that is
just better conversation.
better conversation.
More
Yeah,
natural. Yeah.
yeah. That's where the nuggets fall out
That's true.
during conversation.
Yes.
That's what I find, at least.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and when you're on Zoom, then you got the lag, and it's like, oh, no.
Yeah,
no,
you're like, we're losing you.
Wait, you talk. No, okay, I'll go.
It is like
It's
that.
a little
yeah.
bit awkward. So
Yeah.
I think that naturally,
Is that because of the
just
lag?
I guess so.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
But anyway, but we're back. Just the two of us. Just the two of us this week. And we got some...
Just the two of
Just
us.
the two of us. We got some good stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
I feel like we've got a lot of stuff that we need to get out that has been bottled up for a week.
Yeah.
You know, this has become our place where we kind of get out the stuff of the week, our thoughts, our issues, our whatever.
Yeah.
So,
And it's like we're true to our roots right now because it is Friday afternoon. We haven't recorded on a Friday afternoon.
in a couple weeks. Yeah.
You're drinking.
Got a
What are you
beer.
drinking?
I got some Rolling Rocks. You know why?
Very nice. Why?
Because it's St. Patrick's Day and the bottle's green. Also, because that's what I bought last week and it was in the fridge here. So,
I think that
getting
you
two birds
pre-planned
stoned
that.
at once.
Yeah, you definitely pre-planned that, and that
Exactly.
was really, really on par. Love that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Do appreciate
Now, is
that.
the beer green or is it just the bottle's green?
Don't know. No, it's definitely just the bottle, I believe. I'm pretty sure. But
I don't drink Rolling Rock, and for some reason I always assumed that it was like kind of a green beer.
No.
But now that I'm looking at it, it's just the bottle.
Yeah, it's 100% just the bottle. Yeah, that is a ridiculous thought.
Yeah.
So, anyway, what are we going to talk about this week? We got a couple things
Anyhow.
on our docket.
Yeah. So last week was Women in Construction Week, so we're going to touch on that a little bit. Just to touch on it.
And that was last week.
That was last
correct?
week, yes.
And you still doing construction?
I'm still doing it. Yeah.
Still doing
I decided
construction.
to see it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
I'm not sure.
I didn't know there was a designated week for it where it was allowed, but good to know that you are continuing.
Yeah.
Because that's what
figured
we
I'd
do
keep
here.
going with it.
That's what we do
I
here.
enjoyed it. That one week that you guys let me play around on all the tools and stuff, I really had a
Yeah.
good time. So I thought I'd
Yeah.
continue to do it.
Yeah. You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
no problem.
I do appreciate
I think obviously I say these things in jest because you are a great carpenter, and I think that there's a lot to dig into with women in construction.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. So we're going to dig into that a little bit. We've also we basically just finished today a smaller project compared to the last like 3 or 4.
Yes.
No roof structure. What were we there? Maybe 12 days ish. Something like we'll have to run
12 days?
at the last job.
It was more than that.
Maybe
20 days.
No, it wasn't a whole month. We'll look at the timesheet.
Yeah, pretty sure it was a whole month though. But anyway,
we'll look
continue.
into that. We'll look into that. But anyway, it was a lot shorter than some of our recent projects, which was really nice. It was a little bit simpler, and our next one that we're going into also a little bit smaller than what has now become, I guess, our average size project. No roof structure. That's where it really kind of starts snowballing into complexity.
Yes.
I'd say a lot of times. So
Definitely.
we'll talk about the pros and cons of the bigger jobs versus the smaller jobs. There's definitely some things that I love about it, and I'm starting to realize there's some things that I don't like about it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We'll get into it.
We'll get
I haven't
into it.
talked about it.
This is going to be new information for me too.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to make a lot of sense when I start laying it out. I can be like, oh, that's why you're acting funny. So anyway, we'll talk about that. And also, last night went to take pictures of the last big project that we just completed. And it got me thinking about the importance of really good photography
Yes.
and how it's not that hard.
No, definitely attainable for
Definitely.
everyone.
Attainable for everybody. Some simple tools, some simple tricks. And I'd love to get into that because I think in general, everybody in the industry can step up their game when it comes to photography.
Definitely.
This is your portfolio we're talking about. This is everything,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. We'll save the enthusiasm. We're not at that portion of the episode yet.
Oh, okay. Let's just, okay, first topic. No enthusiasm. No, we need to be excited the whole time, Catherine. I feel like your enthusiasm needs to go up a couple notches, and we need to get on the same level here. So
Right.
let's get into it. Before we get into all that, do you want to talk about something?
Yeah.
This is a safe space. No one is listening, Catherine.
Yeah. I failed 75 hard. I did it. I failed it.
But you know what you didn't fail?
What?
The test of integrity. You have passed that with flying colors.
Thank you.
And elaborate, please, for
Yeah.
the audience.
So I was on day 40 yesterday. 40 or 41? 40. And I had a migraine. And I don't usually get migraines. I very seldom get them. But they are like debilitating. I can't do anything. And I even was able to get my 2 workouts in. I just did yoga. I did yin yoga outside, which is like the most
Outside?
one outside and one inside.
I didn't even think that. You
it was
said-
a nice day outside.
Yeah.
So that wasn't even that bad. But yin yoga is like the easiest form of movement. It's basically just stretching. But I was like, this is all I can handle. I'm
Yeah.
going to do it. I'm going to have to figure out how to power through this. I got to do it. But the water got me. The 1 gallon of water, which has been the worst part of this through the whole entire thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
I hate drinking a gallon of water. I know it's not good for my body. My body does not need to consume a gallon of water every day.
Yeah.
But anyway, when I had a migraine, the idea of drinking that much water was like just absolutely repulsive. Like I could not physically get it down. So I listened to my body and I said, today is not the day. So I failed, but I'm going to keep going. I've already committed to doing this again in the fall. So I know I'm going to redo it again anyway. So I feel like finishing it out is more important, at this moment than giving up and starting over now.
Yeah. I also think that the whole like the water thing, it's kind of ridiculous. I think that you should continue on. I
Yeah.
think that you are doing a great job, and it's not like I think the whole point of this is obviously the time management, which we've talked about. It's the strength of your will and determination and resisting like temptation, like drinking or eating sweets. Like I think those are the things that are the real test. Like, can you go 75 days? What is that? 3.5 months? Is it 2.5 months?
2.5 months.
2.5 months without like caving on these things, because you're going to be going on with your normal life. You're going to be going out. You're going to be at restaurants. You're going to be at parties, whatever. Can you do these things and resist that temptation, stick to it for that long?
Yeah.
But like the fact that you would have to start over 40 days, you're already more than halfway through just because you didn't drink a whole gallon of water, that seems kind of ridiculous. So
But that's the rules. That's the whole thing of it. If you
that's
fail
why
at anything, you have to start over.
that's why I commend you did everything else though?
I did everything else.
Read the 10
But
pages.
I did, yeah.
And you did
It took
yoga
me
outside
forever, yeah.
to read 10 pages?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
But
you did the yoga outside
yeah.
backyard?
I couldn't go on a walk. I was like, I know, and that's like usually my outside thing is like a walk or a run. But I was like,
Yeah.
I know I can't like be that far away from my house just in case. So I was like, I set up my little yoga mat. I have pet ducks. I let them out. They were kind of hanging out with me.
Oh, that's so nice.
All my dogs were outside. It was as lovely as it could have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I failed. I'm gonna have a DNF, an asterisk next to my name, but I'm gonna keep going.
I think that you should. I think you did a great job. I think you're doing a great job, and I think you know, a lot of people would just say you did the workout, you didn't drink, you didn't, you know, slip up on the diet thing. They would just be like, yeah, I probably drank a gallon of water yesterday. Let's just say I did. You know, the fact that you came clean.
Yeah.
Because I was lying. There are people listening right now. This is
Oh,
not.
no, everyone's hearing me.
Everyone's hearing you. So
Yeah,
you know
I
what?
wasn't even close to a gallon. It was not even.
Round of applause for
Thank
the
you.
honesty
I couldn't even
and the
stretch
integrity.
It was definitely. But I will say when I was like, okay, I've come to terms with the fact that I
Yeah.
have failed. I cannot wait to eat a piece of pizza. It is all I have been thinking about all day. And then I got to work. I talked to you guys. I talked to my accountability group for my 75 hard team thing, and they were all like, no, just keep going. And I was like, okay. But
Yeah.
I really want to eat that pizza. So now that's my new mental hurdle is I'm not going to eat pizza.
That's really good because you kind of opened up the floodgates to be like, well, I didn't drink the water. I can go ahead and, you know what,
Yeah.
might as well eat that pizza. So I think another round of applause.
Thank you.
Great job, great job. I'm very impressed. I think you're doing a great job. So stick with it
Thanks.
and keep inspiring us all on our own journeys.
I'm so sad I'm going to have a DNF next to my name forever or whatever, you know.
Forever or whatever. Yeah.
But it's okay. You know,
I think.
life throws you curveballs some days, and some days it's a migraine.
And I think the whole water thing, a whole gallon. I mean, I think if you were
Not
going
for
to.
nothing. I think the water caused the migraine. The water's trying to take me out.
The water's trying to take you out. Yeah. You need some electrolytes. You're flushing out all the electrolytes.
Yeah, it's not good. Whatever's happening is not good.
I think you should modify it next time you do it. Take out the 1 gallon of water, replace it with something else.
But you can't do that. That's against the rules.
These rules. I can't with this. I can't with this. Just these arbitrary objectives. I can't with it. I think it's ridiculous. But I also said publicly already that if you do it in the fall, I will do it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say it publicly. I said it in a DM to somebody else that's in your accountability group right now. So, yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, let's move on from that.
Yeah.
Because it's not a big deal.
It feels like a big
It's
deal.
not a big deal, Catherine. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Let's get into women in construction.
Okay, let's do
Or
it.
should we talk? Do you need a break? Do you need a break?
No, I love talking about women in construction. This is good.
All right. Let's talk about Women in Construction Week, which has
Yeah.
just passed. It should be longer than a week.
It should be. I think you're right.
No.
It should be all the time.
No.
Just like Men in Construction Week.
No. We should get to a point where we don't need it.
True.
Right? Is that a thing, or do
yeah.
we still need to honor it?
No, it would be great to get to a point where we don't need it.
Where it would just, because if there was like a Men in Construction Week, it would just be like, what? That's ridiculous. We should
Yeah.
get to a point where having a Women in Construction Week is ridiculous, but
Yes.
not in the way that some people think it's ridiculous right now. In a different way.
Exactly.
In a
Right.
way like, yeah, of course women do construction.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Well, it was so nice to see all of the other women posting about it, and I love it. It's like this community that's just so wonderful and beautiful, and it's so amazing to see all these women doing like what they love doing.
Mm-hmm.
But the negative stuff that I saw were all these people being like, why do women feel like they need to like tout that they have a job, blah, blah, blah. When it's not about that. The whole thing is, and whenever I post anything about women, like being a woman in construction or like any of that, it's to show other women that it's like a viable career choice.
Yeah.
And like to show, like I have nieces and they now think that women can do construction because they see their aunt doing it. Or
Yeah.
or we were just at a house with children and the mom was like, so happy to see a woman doing construction because her 2 sons now just think that women also do construction. That's how they are going to grow up because construction workers at their house, one of which was a woman. So whenever I talk about it, and I know for the most part when other people talk about it, like that's what they're doing. They're creating this just visibility about like women being able to do it just as well as men. So
Yeah.
I think that it's just a really beautiful thing. It's a great week. It's so nice. I definitely saw way more positive stuff than negative stuff, so that was also nice.
Yeah.
But I just hate that it gets that, you know, it's disheartening to see people be like, you're just doing your job. Why do you need a whole week about it? When there's so much more to it, you know?
Yeah, and I also feel like it's those people that are like, you're just doing your job. Who cares? They're also the people that are like, look at this thing I built. It's so cool. It's like, oh, wow, you built something. You really need a pat on the back for that? Like, it's always the people that are like most vocal about that are doing the same thing in just like a slightly different way. So
Yeah.
I always find that slightly amusing. And
Yeah.
You know?
And not to discount all the other stuff, like women in construction do deal with a whole different slew of issues than men do still.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to discount all that stuff that also is incredibly important. And I think that's very visible for us. Like whenever we post stuff on the internet, like I get vastly different comments than you or Anthony get.
no, not always. There are a lot of people that comment on my looks. There's a couple. There's some.
Oh yeah?
There has been a few, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's apparent. It is definitely something that is made. And I mean, maybe I just feel that way because we are on the internet all the time. And like I never feel different when I'm just around like our crew. Like you guys do not make me feel any different at all. I am just incredibly lucky in that way.
I would agree. Yeah, you are lucky. It's a great place to work.
But it's all the other external forces that come in and then, you know, you see all the comments and stuff. So it's different. And I have had it so much easier than so many people because I didn't have to go through like an apprenticeship or, you know, all these other steps that people have to take to get to it. So I never had all those different layers of like sexism or whatever to fight past. So I am coming from a very privileged place in that I never had to deal with any of that. I just see some mean comments on the internet. I can handle that.
I get mean comments as well. They are just slightly, I would say the majority of comments are very complimentary to you. Some of them, you know, you kind of don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
And usually when those come up, I just assume that it's something inappropriate. But a lot of times it's like kind of a little bit broken English, like not making a whole lot of sense, but you put two and two together. And it's like, I think I get the direction this comment's going. It's offensive. Okay. I think it would be maybe really cool for me to maybe just hit you with like a little interview, a couple questions about your experiences.
Okay.
All right. What would you say is the hardest or not hardest, but like most annoying part of being a woman in construction? Is it the comments about your looks and stuff like that, those type of comments? Is it people like saying that you know, more about like the work, like you can't do the actual work because you're a woman? Like what part of it do you find I don't want to say hard because you just like kind of deal with it and it doesn't seem to bother you too much either way, but what part is the most annoying that you'd like to stop?
That I would like to stop.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe like a year ago before I really I like showed what I could do. Like if Anthony were doing something, and it was like Tom and I standing there, he was going to ask Tom to help him. Like it was just like carry something. He'd be like, Tom, help me with this. But now that I have gone like over and above and been like, no, I can do everything. Yeah. Like kind of in a overly compensating, obnoxious way. I feel
I would agree. Yeah, definitely.
That has definitely stopped. But the thing that bothers me the most is when there are other people, like when it's like a sub or an inspector or any of that kind of stuff. They not the subs because we use the same one, so usually they're like used to me by now. But it'll be like an inspector or something, and they always say something, and it's always in front of people. Like I mean, sometimes it's just to me, but for the most part, it's like they're saying something sexist to me in front of everybody, and then it becomes like something that I have to like address or like, you know, like I don't want to have to defend like that this is my job to this random inspector, you know, like I find that incredibly annoying because then it just makes me, and it's not that it makes me look bad because you guys all know me and whatever. But if I were on like a bigger job site with like people that I didn't know all the time or whatever, I would hate that I had to like express like, yeah, no, I'm not actually the homeowner. I like work here too. Just like these guys are. Like, I feel like I'm constantly having to say that. So that's probably like the stuff on the internet does not bother me at all. I think sometimes it's like really unhinged and it's like just really bizarre stuff. That's kind of like, this is concerning behavior. But for the most part, I don't really care. So I would say definitely the things that people say in real life.
The only one that is definitively coming to mind was the one inspect. I forget what job it was even on, but it was the last job, and they said, what did they say? Are you getting paid for this or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I was doing hardscaping. I was just like doing what everybody else was doing. He's like, oh, they're paying you to do this or something like that. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I work here.
This is my job.
Paid to do this?
See how I'm wearing like the same shirt as everybody else? I'm still working here.
Yeah. That
and it's always funny to me because like that comment, I was like, do you think that I'm like the homeowner and they let me come like play with their tools out here or like,
which would be nice.
Or, yeah, that was so kind of you guys to let me come hang out. So yeah, it's stuff like that.
Yeah. And I'm not telling you this until just now, but he actually came up to me afterwards and was like, it's not Women in Construction Week yet, right? She's not allowed to use those yet. She has a week for this. But yeah, and I think that I see your frustrations with different things that you come across. Like there's like some blatant sexism that you have experienced that I've witnessed that I think for the most part you kind of turn into a like
bitch.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But more of like a laugh it off, like not even laugh it off, but like I feel like that doesn't affect you as much because it's more a reflection on that one person that did that thing. But even with like that inspector, like I don't think he was saying it like maliciously. He was just kind of like, it was more of like a society thing that he was just like, I don't think he was coming at it with like, you're a woman, you can't do this.
Yeah.
But it was just like a blanket sexism. And I feel like that is the thing that like frustrates you more because it's not just like, you can't just point to that guy and be like, this guy's an asshole because he said that. It's just like kind of the society and the culture is to just say things like that sort of don't make sense but are just like vaguely, not even vague, like are just like sexist things to say.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like, I don't think of that guy and be like, oh man, what an asshole that guy was. Like, he sucks. Like, why would he say that? Because I don't think that he meant it maliciously. I think that he was just probably trying to like, I don't know, he was walking by me. He was just trying to say something. But for me, when I'm hearing these comments constantly, it's like super annoying. Or like, whenever we go to trade shows, people assume that we are married.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't think that people are saying it in like a, I've done that before too, where I assume that two people that I see together at a trade show are married if there's a woman there. So I'm not saying that it's like rude, but like when we constantly have to be like, no, we're actually coworkers. Like, it's like, it's annoying when you constantly have to just say the same things over and over again. Like, no, we're, you go to work with your coworker. We're at work right now. Yeah. And this is my coworker.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's annoying assumptions that you just constantly have to deal with.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. And it is, I feel like it's now like almost funnier than anything because it's just like, I think it like caught both of us off. Like the first trade show that we went to, it was like, why is everyone assuming this? And then there was a couple scenarios where like other people in the industry, we just like, I would see their stuff and be like, and then I felt like an idiot because I was like, oh, I thought that was that person's wife, and it's like, and it's not, and it's like, how dumb of me. I'm in, like, that's the exact same situation that we are in.
Yeah.
So I can see how that's really annoying. What else?
Yeah.
What else can we tackle here? How can we button this up? Solve the sexism in construction by the end of this episode. What do you think? Okay, we've kind of briefed on the bad stuff, the things that are annoying, things that need to change. what do you find the most satisfying about not just construction in general, but specifically being a woman in construction?
What do I find good about it?
Like, what do you find as like the most fulfilling part of it, of specifically being a woman in a male dominated field?
I mean, I love my job and I love what I do.
It's a great job, yeah.
It's a great job.
Fun, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have a great time, and I'm so happy with like the things that we build and what we put on the internet, and I love everything about it, and it's just so much more of a fulfilling career than what I was doing before. So I can't imagine like ever going back to something that's not this.
Yeah.
You know? As far as being like a woman in construction, I don't know. I feel like I guess it sounds cliche, but I don't really think about it. I don't think about it unless it's being like forced on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to say like what I like about being a woman in construction because I don't really, I don't know. I just go to work every day. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I do like that there's like a community around it. I like finding other women who are in this field and like can relate to the things
Yeah.
that we go through. But yeah, I feel like I just go to work. So
Okay. What I was kind of thinking, you know what, if I was a woman, how I would answer it?
yeah, what were you say?
So when I was talking to, and you weren't there for that conversation, when I was talking to Sheena on her last job, and she was saying like she's also in an industry that's mostly male dominated, like a lot of, meetings and all of these things that she's a part of in her career are male dominated, and she experiences that like casual sexism as well. And to just hear her talk about like how cool it is for her to watch the videos, see you building stuff, and to see her kids watch you build stuff. I guess I never really thought about it too much, like just like, oh yeah, it's cool. There's lots of sexist people. I think I see more of the negative stuff because it's like mostly comments or it's like experiences at trade shows. But that was like the first time that it was like brought to my attention how, wow, it is pretty cool. You know, like that they're seeing this and thinking, hopefully when they're older, it's like, yeah, that's just, of course there's women in construction.
Yeah.
So I know
That's
we
true.
already kind of touched on that, but I think I lose sight of just like the impact little things can have on a lot of people. Like, you know, we put so much stuff out there that there's probably a lot of people watching our videos that are like, you know, maybe a dad is watching our YouTube video and they have a daughter and they probably think it's so cool. Like, look, Catherine's building that wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You should be proud of that.
Oh, thank you. I do think that that's cool. If there's any small children in our audience, I think that that's pretty special.
Or large children. We don't discriminate on the size of the children.
Any size children.
Any size children or full-grown adults or any range in between. It is a fulfilling industry to be in, I think, and
absolutely,
women can find that same satisfaction in the career of construction, trades, stuff, crafts.
And the last thing I will say is, whenever we go to these trade shows and people are like, "Wow, I wish I could find a woman who like." Basically saying like, I want to hire a woman, but no women ever apply. Yeah. Like, but then how do you like seek out women without it being like
looking
weird?
for a lady? Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like people should just be more open to like actively recruiting people.
Yeah.
Because I when people say that, I'm like, I genuinely don't know. I don't know how you wouldn't come across as like not creepy if you're like, come on, ladies, I'm trying to hire some ladies.
Yeah.
But like in our case, you recruited me. So I feel like maybe people should just be more open to like finding someone who has like a similar set of skills or the right type of personality to make it work and be more open to like recruiting women to be on their team.
Yeah. Is it in any way, I know it's probably partly flattering, is it in any way offensive when people, because so many people are like, I need not only a woman on the team, they're like, I need a Catherine. Like you have in some small circles turned into like a a commodity. They're like, I need somebody that fits all of these things to be part of my company. I need a Catherine.
Yeah. No, that's nice because people say the same thing about Tony, so I don't find that offensive at all.
Yeah, everyone wants a Tony.
Exactly. So
No one ever says it about me. They know I'm probably out of their league. They're like, that would be
They know that there's only
that's
one.
a moonshot. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you think we've talked about women in construction
I do,
enough?
yeah.
I think
all I have
it
to say.
would. I think it would be cool in the future to do a full episode on just women in the trades. But I think to do a full episode on it, it would probably be better to maybe have another
people.
trades lady,
Yeah.
or maybe have tradeswomen call in or something
Yeah.
like that. It'd be
I
cool
would
to have
love
like
to.
an ongoing conversation about that. So if there's any women listening that have some stories or just messages that they want to get across, shoot us a DM
Yeah.
at Hardworking Happy Hour, and I think it would be cool to share some of that.
I feel like it's a hard line to balance where like I don't want to constantly talk about how I'm a woman in construction, but it is part of like what women deal with. So I think that it is an important conversation to have sometimes. So
I
that would
think
be great.
we should
to hear
strive to
other
get to a
people.
place where men need to talk about being a man in construction.
Sure.
It's a dream.
Yeah.
Something
One day,
we can
Sean.
aspire to. Something we can aspire to. Great.
All right.
What's next? What else we got on the docket?
Well, little jobs, big jobs.
Little jobs, big jobs, all jobs in between.
Yeah.
So many. It's like Goldilocks and the three decks. So we have the last 3-4 jobs have been maybe 5 jobs. It's been a lot. It's been since like last winter that we've done like a smaller-esque job.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice. Like I was looking forward to this job after doing so many projects that were like around the same scope with roof structures and heaters and just a million different features. This one was a lot more straightforward. Just I think overall it was maybe like 600 square feet or so, 2-tier deck, patio, like pretty straightforward. A lot of really cool design stuff that we got to be creative on, but fairly straightforward compared to the last couple of things that we've done. So I think everyone was kind of looking forward to this one. Would you agree?
Definitely.
So
It's like a mood booster to be like, okay, in
let's
and out.
knock this out.
Where it's like satisfying.
It is satisfying, and especially when it comes to like, I feel like the content that we make is like a gauge of morale, almost. Like when we're on a really big job and we're trying to come up with like more content, it's just like, I don't know, like we're still doing this thing.
Yeah.
You know, it just like drags on. But when you can just build something and like all of the different stages come together really quickly, it's so much more exciting. Like we can make cooler videos about it, which is fun. But I think in proxy of that, is that how you use that word? Proxy? In proxy?
I think you say by proxy.
By proxy. That seems more better. By proxy, it also, I think, is a gauge on morale. Like when we are churning through work and we're getting through all the different stages, we are more excited about like making a video of something, and we're also just in general more excited about the job because you're getting that like quick turnover of satisfaction of, all right, all the decking's down. Now we're getting onto this feature wall that we're going to do. And not each part doesn't take like a whole week. So I think that is something I really look forward to. I think everybody was really looking forward to it. This job went really smooth. I was even away on vacation for part of it. Like everything just went really well. And one of the things though that I've realized I don't love, it's a little bit less complicated. The jobs, there's less to it, but there's still a lot of things that are the same. We still have to get all those inspections. We still have to, do all these things. This one, even though it was a lot smaller, still had gas for a fire pit and a grill, had a countertop that needed to go in, had a couple outlets, had still a lot of different facets to it. And it's just like crunching all of those things into a tighter time window. And I don't know, I doubt you've ever noticed this. I doubt that this has ever even come across your radar, but towards the end and the beginning of jobs, I tend to get a little stressed out.
I have never noticed
You've never
that.
noticed that. I know. I handle it so well.
Yeah, you really bottle that up and don't make it apparent at
I
all.
bottle it up really well. And it's all of those things are just kind of condensed. So there still is like an end of a job where you still have all of these little kind of things to do. That's where I get a little bit stressed out, sometimes a lot stressed out, because it's also right in conjunction with getting everything lined up for the next job. And the next one that we're doing is, again, not a huge one. So we're going to be on that condensed schedule with making sure materials are there, because we're going to have this deck framed in a day, you know, all these things. So that's something that I've noticed I don't love about small projects. But I think in the end, it's really great to have a mix.
Yeah.
I think a mix is good. Keeps everybody on their toes, you know? And it keeps it a little interesting, I think.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I like the every other. We were on this was going to be an every other schedule, but then we had to flip flop 2 jobs. So now it's 2 smaller ones back to back. And I feel like even the smaller the job, it seems like the smaller. I mean, this job was fine, but the next job, like parking and just logistics of getting everything around, is kind of like that's also tight, which also makes things like a little bit just. Yeah, it's just like a little annoying. Like having to worry about all that kind of stuff. But there's nothing more satisfying than like not just knocking a job out in like a couple weeks and then being ready to go to the next one. It
is a lot of fun, and I think obviously we talk about content a lot. We are making a lot of content, and I think especially on this job, it was the first like smaller job we've done in a while. Really like the excitement for like those little clips, because we're doing different things like every day. There was like so much excitement around it, and it really felt like, not like it was boring at any point, but sometimes it can get into a little bit of a phase of monotony. Like, all right, what are we going to do this week? What's the video going to be about? What kind of clips can we make? At this job, it was just like, there was so many little things, and it was just, I think we all had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Anthony came up with a ton of ideas for clip content and stuff like that. So it was just like, it brought back a lot of that like fun of coming up with the content, which is what I always want it to be based around, is we're having fun and we just happen to be making videos about it. And that adds into the fun. And I think to a certain extent, it helped with productivity on this last job. Definitely. Because we were like, let's get this clip. We got this stupid little Instagram clip that we're making. Let's get to the end of this portion so we can finish this video. Yeah. So just my 2 thoughts on this wonderful St. Patrick's Day. What's his deal anyway? Was he the one that played the flute and with the snakes?
I don't know. I like literally asked this. I asked this morning. St. Francis is the one. He loved animals. I know that.
Yeah, but hated snakes?
I think this has something to do with snakes.
No, wait, maybe it's the Pied Piper. The Pied Piper played the...
I don't know about the flute situation.
Somebody was...
Anthony said
a flute going
there
around.
was something about snakes, and I said, did he save the country from snakes, or he saved... the snakes like
from
in
the
country.
No, he drove them out.
He drove the snakes out. Snakes were causing problems.
Yep. I'm gonna do a quick deep dive. Keep the episode going. I'm gonna do a quick little. We need to get to the bottom of this. We need to. Yes.
Yeah, and I just don't. And if this is a snake-based holiday, why is it so popular that like we even celebrate this here? You know, like in America, if it's an Irish holiday about snakes,
drinking.
But every other holiday is about drinking too. And why is it snake holiday a drinking holiday? I have so many questions.
I'm not sure. Okay, St. Patrick was born in Britain to wealthy parents in the late 4th century.
Britain, why is it an Irish holiday?
Well, he was kidnapped at the age of 16, taken to Ireland as an enslaved worker. This is getting kind of wacky. Not getting a whole bunch of... not getting a whole lot of information on this. Keep the talking going.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Keep the. I'm looking for snakes.
The snake portion of this. Also, I did learn though that the Irish people don't like it when we call it St. Patty's Day because Patty is a woman's name. Paddy is the man's name. So it should really be St. Paddy's Day because the name is like Patrick.
Patrick? Really?
That's what they said. I saw this on a very trusted source.
Wikipedia?
It was TikTok.
TikTok. Okay. I'm not seeing anything about the... No snakes. I'm not... Oh, whoop.
You got to the snake portion?
Ireland was well known to be a land without snakes. And this was noted as early as the 3rd century by somebody with a weird name. But later legend credited Patrick with banishing snakes from the island. Wow.
But they had no snakes.
The earliest writings, he chased them into the sea after they attacked him during his fast on a mountain. This doesn't seem...
Something's not adding up here. I have a lot of questions.
Some sort of miracle type of situation.
Okay.
Some sort of magic was involved.
All right, so basically it's a snake-based holiday. And everyone needs to drink about it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's all very confusing. It makes more sense if you drink, I think.
Okay.
So,
I like that.
I
like
know.
that theory. I haven't gone out for St. Patrick's Day in many a year. What about you?
No. I don't like... I mean... Anything like that, like going out for St. Patrick's Day, it's like 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
Or 18 and 19-year-olds with fake IDs that go out to bars. Like,
true.
That is just, and it's becoming more and more apparent to me that I am just a parent now. And I don't like loud noises. I don't like people yelling unless it's me yelling inside the van or something. But that lifestyle does not appeal to me whatsoever anymore.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like, if it's a party with like friends where I know everybody, great. But just like going to a random bar where like you're with only a couple friends and it's loud and you have to yell and like, I don't know. I just feel like that's not my scene anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not fun unless you're single.
Maybe.
That's how I feel about it. Like going to a bar like on a St. Patrick's Day, like doing like a pub crawl.
Doing a pub crawl seems abysmal to me. I will never. I don't know if
horrible.
I've ever even done one of those, but I will never do one.
I don't know
in
if
my
I've
life.
actually done one either, but
I like going to like a bar with a friend and seeing like live music. I do love that.
see, that's not what you're going to experience on a St. Patrick's Day bar crawl. Yeah, see, that's like, yeah, you're sitting next to somebody. You maybe have a seat.
Potentially,
seat might be involved here. See, that I could possibly get down with, but I always felt like
Just be seated and quiet. That's
I
what
was
you-
never that into it even before because it's like, all right, we're out with like 5 or 10 friends. Why don't us 5 or 10 friends just hang out somewhere a little quieter, And we can conversate, we could have fun, we could laugh.
Yeah.
But going to the bar, it's just like, I don't know. Especially now, nothing interests me less than going on a St. Patrick's Day pub crawl.
Yeah, that sounds like torture.
And you can't anyway because you're still doing 75 hard, which I commend.
Thank you.
I think another round of applause in order.
Oh,
You're
thank
doing
you.
a great
No, it feels
job.
fake now. It feels fake. I didn't earn it.
It's not sarcastic at all. No, it's really not. I really think you're doing a great job. It's a incredible commitment of time and mental resources, and you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I do kind of appreciate that.
Well, you're kind of welcome. All right. Let's get to our last portion.
Okay, you start talking. I need another drink.
Yeah.
You just keep the conversation
Oh,
going.
you want me to?
Give me
Okay.
1 second.
No problem at all. What I want to talk about next is the importance of great photography. That's not a word? Or you're saying from afar, that's not a word. That's not a word. The importance of taking great photos. That has always been one of the core tenets of our business strategy.
Yes.
Business plan. Take good pictures. The picture that you get of the thing you build is the most valuable thing that you get. A lot of times, especially when you're starting the business,
Absolutely.
it's more valuable than the money you get paid to build the project.
Yes.
Agree or disagree?
Agree. 100%.
Cool. All right, good. I'm glad we're on the same page with that. I just think it's so important, and I think that the people that think they don't have the time to dedicate to taking good pictures are typically the people that need it the most.
Yeah.
They're always behind schedule. they're working on jobs that like they're not making enough money on.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'm like behind on this job already. My profit is already subpar. Like I went over the hours estimated. I'm late to get to the next job.
Yeah.
I'll snap a picture real quick and I'll move on to the next job. I'm too busy.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You need to take better pictures so that you can get the better clients from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. I also feel like I see a lot that like home remodelers, when there's like a lot of different trades doing something, if they're not the last person in there, then they're like, oh, well, I can't take the pictures without the whatever's done. And, you know, now it's been a week or something. Go back and get the photo.
Go back.
Make sure to go back and
Yeah.
get the photo. You did that work. You should document it.
Absolutely. I think it is super important. It's the most valuable thing I think you get from a project, especially in this day and age. Like you need to, even if it's not your main lead generation source, you need to have a presence online. I think we've talked about that.
I think we've covered it a time.
I think we've covered it a time or two.
Couple.
And it all comes down to the media that you produce.
Yeah.
Pictures, video. You need to have quality, especially pictures. Like you can, if you're going to go in the content creation route, you know, you're going to have to eventually get into video and all that kind of stuff. But at the very least, you need to have people hear about you, go to your website, see your pictures.
Yeah.
That is like first step. And you can build an unbelievable business just doing those things, building it the traditional way. I think no matter what, you still need good pictures.
Yeah.
You have to.
You have to.
And it's not that hard.
No.
It's really not.
All right, let's get into it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Should we start with what makes a good picture or how to get a good picture?
Either one.
All right, let's go what makes a good picture.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
Composition.
That's what I was going to say. Dang it.
That is like,
That's everything.
I would say that's half of it. Composition, the other half, lighting. Composition
Yeah.
is so important. And if you feel like you don't take good pictures now, just Google it, YouTube, how like photo composition and what makes a good photo, because that says everything. If you're like trying to get a good photo of this thing you did and it's only in like the bottom half of the picture and it like looks really skewed and like you're like, all right, well, I guess I got it. You know, like that's not good enough. Do what it takes to get a good photo composition wise.
Yes.
Number 2, lighting.
Yes. Whoa, you're just going back to back? Do I get a chance to... You just cherry pick the two, like, only things, and now you're going to look like the expert. Okay, lighting. Perfect. All right, composition, number 1.
We're going back to number 1.
One thing I just want to... I want to really drive the point home, especially when I first started. I mean, we're talking 20... what years now? 2015. I was taking pictures with my cell phone back then.
Yeah.
Which was some sort of Motorola. I mean, it was way past like the Razr days, but it was still like, it wasn't an iPhone 14 or I don't know, whatever the heck they have now. It was a cell phone 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. Just by focusing on the composition and the lighting, people always thought that I had professional photos taken. And a lot of times there's almost no way to know whether it's a professional photo with a professional camera or a picture taken on your phone that was composed really well and it's just a good photo.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you're looking at it on a small screen.
Right.
You'll know when you try to blow that picture up on a magazine cover or something.
Yeah.
It's not going to have the resolution, but otherwise it's really hard to tell what was taken with a really high-end camera or what was taken with a phone, because the most important thing and the thing that your eye picks up is the composition and the lighting.
Yeah.
So we talked about the composition a little bit. Let's talk about the lighting.
Lighting
is, I would say, about half of the battle. The other half, composition. Should we go over that? Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into it.
So lighting is super important. Lighting is something that I think that's the part that takes the little bit of patience, because you have to wait for the right day and you have to wait for the right time.
Yes.
So yesterday you had migraine.
Yes.
Vomit a little bit from the migraine.
I did vomit a little bit from the migraine.
Sadness from the not drinking the water.
Sadness from within.
Which would have made vomit and headache worse.
Yeah.
So you were just going through a whole lot. I went and took drone pictures by myself yesterday, and it takes, I'd say, a good 3 hours to be there. You have to be there set up because you can get pictures right before sunset.
Yeah.
You can get them in a couple different varieties of lighting. You get that kind of daytime look, but the sun has to be down so you don't have shadows everywhere.
Yes.
But it's still like a daytime bright look. And then you continue to get pictures till it's almost dark.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be completely dark because you're not going to really be able to see the detail of everything you're doing, but you get those shots that it kind of looks like it's nighttime, the lights are on, all that kind of stuff, but it's actually like just at dusk. And that is, I would say, about half the battle to a good picture. The other half being
composition.
I was going to say the same thing. Oh my God. Composition.
Crazy.
Yes.
On the same wavelength.
So when you're taking pictures outside, like we do, you need to be focused on a clear day, sunny, not super cloudy, and wait until the end of the day.
Yes.
Wait until the end of the day, just at sunset, and just be out there taking a bunch of pictures. Don't like take 5 pictures and be like, oh, they didn't turn out that great. Like, this was the best I could do.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was there. You went through all the pictures I took on the drone yesterday. How many was it? 200?
200 something, yeah.
It was like a lot
It was
because
a lot.
you can kind of like see what angles you really like when
Yeah.
you're looking at, you know, what the drone's looking at and you're taking the pictures, but you're not totally sure till you import it. You start editing, you know, and you really start cropping the photos to what you want. So the more pictures, the better. You can always delete photos. You can't go back and take more.
Yes.
So always take as many as you possibly can. And that's why I love to shoot over that course of, say, an hour and a half, because every property and every location is going to be a little bit different with the lighting and the time of day. You're not going to really know like what exact point in time was the best lighting until you import everything. You really look through it. So you're not sure, like at sunset, 10 to 15 minutes can make a huge difference in lighting.
Absolutely.
So you need to get that whole range, and usually like somewhere in the middle there, you get those shots that just look unbelievable.
Yes.
So that is probably my biggest advice for lighting and composition is take those pictures for like a straight hour and a half and take as many as you possibly can, because you're going to get all of these different compositions. You're going to get it framed in all different types of ways. And then you can go through, and you don't need to be like a professional photographer. If you take 200 photos, some of the composition in them is just going to be awful. It's going to be terrible. But go through 200 pictures. I guarantee you have at least 3 or 4 that are really, really good pictures. And your eye will just tell you. Like you can shuffle through them and be like, this one, it doesn't speak to me. It doesn't. That's the language I use, is it not?
It absolutely is.
I'm just like, something about this picture speaks to me. This is a good picture. And it's not like really a logical thing. It's just something that, like, when you look at somebody else's picture, it's like, this is a good picture. I don't know what exactly about it. It's just like, it's pleasing to the eye. So if you take 200 pictures over the course of an hour and a half at the right time of day, everything's clean, everything is dry, you don't have splotchy wetness, which a lot of people tend to do if they just wash it, and they, you know, some areas are wet, some are dry. Make sure it's all dry, it's all the same, it's clean, it's at the right time of day, and take 1,000,000 photos.
Yeah. Honestly, Sean, that's great advice.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate. Hey, I think that might have been one of those nuggets.
Oh, baby.
Oh, we're dropping nuggets here.
And I just want to say, for people who do inside stuff, when you don't have the sun as an option, don't be afraid to like stage it, like bring in lights.
Oh, yeah.
Because you might get done your project. It is 4:00 in the afternoon. You got all this light in this room and you're like, wow, this looks amazing. I got my overhead lights on, the outside light. This looks amazing with my eyeballs. You go to take a picture. Terrible. Shadow City. You don't know what to do.
You don't.
It's because it's overhead lighting and it's going to look terrible. You should bring in, like we have here, shadow box lights.
Yeah, how do we
stage
look?
it. I'm sure we look youthful and glowing because we have these amazing lights in here.
You think it's the light? I was thinking of
It's
the
just
moisturizer.
It's the lights.
It's not, oh, okay. I'm doing a
maybe
moisturizer routine.
it's your moisturizer as well.
Could be.
But I think that's so important for like inside shots because it's overhead light. It's never gonna look. It's gonna look good in your eyeballs, but it's never gonna look good
in your eyeballs.
In your eyeballs,
look good,
it's
yeah.
gonna look good. But people see that stuff on like Zillow all the time, where it's like a professional photo of Zillow homes, and they're like, "Wow, this looks really great. This is amazing. That room must be so sunny." And it's like, no, they brought in artificial lighting to get a good picture.
Yeah.
So
it's all Hollywood, baby.
Yeah,
it's all Hollywood.
It's all in the photo. And lastly, Lightroom. Lightroom is like Photoshop Light. Lightroom.
Oh, is that a joke or not?
No.
No, it was
not
like a joke light.
It was a light joke, yeah.
That was kind of a joke.
But
anyway,
Lightroom is so easy to use and super, super helpful in editing photos.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if we should give away this secret, but sod that we lay on our project is a slightly different color than the existing grass. And sometimes I edit them to look like the same color. And it's super simple, and it makes a big difference in the photo.
Catherine. Catherine.
What?
We did not decide to talk about that together. You know I was going into a side joke. There's so many different directions.
Yeah.
It's always loosely based around like some like decision, like decide or
Or you are
why are you
sod.
so sad?
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
We did sod this week, so it is top of mind, these sod jokes.
Top of mind.
But yeah, with Lightroom, it's so easy to edit that. So, and I forget how much it costs, but it's not as much as Photoshop, and it's a lot simpler to use. So
Yeah.
definitely an option if you want to edit your photos.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about it. Do you have anything else?
Yeah. I guess, yeah, you can look into things like that, like Lightroom. It is super easy. There's lots of tutorials online about
Definitely,
just
they even have
little
the tutorials.
super subtle tweaks of like the saturation and the brightness and the exposure and the warmth. Just very subtle things can like just make a picture like totally pop.
Yeah.
So, take your time. And I think just in general, anybody that thinks I don't have time for this, those are the people that need it the most.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what it's like?
What?
It's like meditation.
Oh, yeah.
People that are like, I'm too busy, I don't have time. It's like, you are the exact person that needs this more than anyone else.
Yep.
Because, yeah, you are always so busy.
That is a good metaphor.
It is. And you know what? I might need to go back to meditation, maybe.
Yeah, where did you ever land with that?
I think I metaphorically like shot into space, and now I'm just floating around in an abyss of mindless. It's almost like you know how you feel like you go into like a scroll hole on your phone.
Yeah.
My mind's like a scroll hole.
Okay.
It's just like an
So you need to get back to
unending
it.
abyss of. Remember how I talked about like the lights and the shapes and the planetary bodies that
Yeah.
are, you know, how I conceptualize ideas.
Yep.
A little bit of that. So maybe I might get back into the meditation. That
Okay.
might have just been a message to myself from my subconscious.
A meditation revelation.
Meditation, revelation, expectation. All right. Do you think we drove home the point enough of good pictures?
I think so, yeah.
I think so too. Where are we at on time here?
We are right at our happy hour.
Are we?
Yeah.
All right. Secret question time. Go ahead. Hit me with something.
All right. It's St. Patrick's Day.
Yes. Oh my. All right. Hold on. Let me imagine it. Okay.
What is your most memorable holiday of all the holidays?
Oh,
What?
that's a really good question.
Not like, Christmas, but like
A specific one.
holiday.
Wow, that's a really good question. Most memorable holiday. I would say, all right, so I have like a notoriously like foggy memory of like childhood memories, but one particular, and it always comes up still, and I don't think my parents actually listen to this podcast, so I'm not really worried about them hearing this, because it's such a, all right, so it was right around Toy Story came out. And it was very popular, very big time. And they got me a Buzz Lightyear toy. And I remember like opening it and being like excited, but they were like more excited.
Yeah.
And I don't fully remember this memory like for certain, but I'm pretty sure that like I acted more excited.
Aww.
Just
you wanted
'cause,
to
like,
match their excitement for
Exactly.
them?
And I was like, oh my God, I got a Buzz Lightyear. And like, it was cool and all. I liked it, but I specifically remember like acting more excited than I actually was. But now it's such a happy memory because they talk about it all the time. Every Christmas it comes up. And so what was the memory? It was the happiest.
Yeah.
That
Well, you're most
brought-
memorable. So
that it brought me a lot of joy to see them so happy about the gift. I think I've never been a big like gift receiver.
Yeah.
I'm not big into like receiving gifts. But I do remember that.
That's precious.
It is a little bit. It also sounds a little bit like something that should be like hashed out in therapy in some capacity. I feel like there's something to unlock there. But yeah, I remember that very vividly. And besides like recent holidays, I just don't have like, I don't remember like specific things about my childhood as well as like Sarah's always coming up with like, I remember on my 4th birthday, I had chocolate cake, and then my cousin Michelle was like, hey, Sarah, I got this fun dip at the Scholastic Book Fair. And she has like this like ridiculous memory. And I'm just like, I think I was 4 at one point. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember anything before like, I don't know, I was like maybe a teenager. I just have vague memories, but that is one that I remember very specifically. And it's lived on. My parents are still so happy about it. They're like, what about we got that Buzz Lightyear?
Oh, that's
So,
really sweet.
Yeah, that was my most memorable holiday. What was yours?
Well, I was going to say a different story, but if we're going to go with like long-lasting family stories, one Christmas I was like 5 or something. I was a child, and we had a great Christmas. Whatever.
You were a 5-year-old child, not a 5-year-old adult.
5-year-old child. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. This was the
perfect.
child
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was, typical Christmas, mayhem, whatever. My mom always makes cinnamon rolls every Christmas
Ooh, that
to this
sounds
day, on Christmas morning.
Little cream cheese icing and everything.
Oh yeah,
Talking
delicious.
raisins,
and
and
we
nuts?
always no raisins or nuts,
Okay.
just plain.
I'm with that. I'm with that. I don't like all that accoutrement on, especially the raisins. Like, get those out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No good.
Sorry, am I interrupting?
You're fine.
Okay, go ahead.
But it was always like whoever got the middle one, that was like the good one. We always had to alternate, me and my sister. But anyway, so my sister took a nap at some point during that day, had a dream that I was eating them out of the trash can, and then proceeded to tell that story for the rest of my life, that I was eating the cinnamon rolls out of the trash can. And that is the memory that lives on till this day. And everyone's like, didn't you eat cinnamon rolls out of the trash can? I was like, no, that was a dream.
Huh.
So that was probably my most
Isn't
memorable.
it funny how, wait, so that definitely didn't happen? Are you
Definitely
certain
did
that
not
didn't
happen. No, that absolutely did not happen because
Next time I see Linda, I will ask her for
please
confirmation
do.
on this fact.
No, the reason we know that this was not true is there was never any leftover cinnamon rolls to be eaten out of the trash can.
Yeah, that definitely seems like a hole in the story for
Yeah.
sure.
That's the whole.
yeah.
That's it. So
Okay.
this definitely did not happen.
But isn't it funny how like people? Does she think that it really happened, or she knows?
Yeah. I mean, now that we've talked about it so much, she's like, okay, I guess that does make sense. And in my head, you were wearing like a white dress, which like I wasn't ever.
That doesn't
in a
make
white,
sense,
Yeah.
yeah.
So she admits it now, but she like fully believed
In
that it
her
was true.
dream, you were like a 5-year-old bride eating cinnamon rolls out of the trash can,
Exactly,
like a
yeah.
little raccoon.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Isn't it funny though how you can somehow like get a fake memory and then
Oh yeah.
think that it's true?
Yeah.
Because I told you about somebody that we went to high school with. Still to this day, swears that I used to eat onions like
Yeah.
apples, or at least I did at some point.
That does sound like something you would have done in high school, though. Like,
I was eccentric.
Yeah.
That is not true. That's just insane. It's ridiculous. It's insane. And still to this day, she will say like, no, you did. And I'm like, that is the most absurd thing I've ever like been accused of. But it's one of those.
Yeah.
It's one of those fake memories that she believes so wholeheartedly that it makes me every time she says it like think like, did I? Was there a point in my life where I was just eating onions like apples?
That is so horrible.
I feel like there is a lot of layers to my life that you need to peel back like an onion, but I don't think that was one of those layers.
Yeah. We'll have to cross-reference some other people and see
We will.
if they remember that as well.
Yeah. Well, good memory. Good trip down memory lane
Oh, yeah.
there. So, you got anything else?
Nope, that's it for me. Do you have anything else?
No, that is also it for me. So, hope you enjoyed this. Till next time, this has been the Hardworking Happy Hour.
See you next week.